Hello, ladies. Welcome back to another episode of I'm Just Saying, the podcast where we get real about self awareness, accountability, and building lives that we're proud of. I'm Jess, your host and life coach, and you have officially entered into a safe space. So, being that we are winding down into the end of 2024, getting prepared to go into 2025, I felt like it was only fitting to talk about one particular topic. Yes, you guessed right. Leaving behind what and who doesn't serve you as you're stepping boldly into 2025. It's time to shed that skin. Let go of the things that have been holding you back all 2024, all of the baggage, all of the garbage that you have picked up and been holding on to all this year. You go ahead and this is going to be your last day enjoying that because it's time to let it go, sis, as we go into the new year. Now, I know this topic may hit home for a lot of us. Maybe you've been feeling stuck, weighed down in certain relationships. Maybe you have some habits that you need to get rid of, or maybe it's just your own thoughts that you're having that no longer serve you and no longer align with the person that you're trying to become. So this episode is all about unpacking the baggage, making peace with it, and deciding to move forward. Go ahead and get whatever drink you're trying to get your comfy little blanket, a nice little sweater, get real cozy because I know I am, because now we're about to get into it. All right, so let's start here. Why is it so hard to let go of things that don't serve us in the first place? Whether it's a friendship, a relationship, a job, or even just your mindset, we hold on to things because it's familiar. And let's be real about it. Familiar definitely does feel safe, even when it's something that is draining the absolute life out of us. It feels safe. And so you find yourself either holding on to it or you let it go and you go right back into that same situation. But of course, y'all came here for the raw and uncut truth. And I'm going to keep it real with you. The truth is, growth and comfort do not coexist together. If you're trying to go into 2025 being the best version of yourself, you have to be prepared and willing to release all of those things that have been holding you back and still holding you back. So think about it like this. Your life is a suitcase, right? And it's stuffed with all these things that you just no longer need. There's no room for anything new, no matter how amazing that it may be. So today we're going to be talking about recognizing what doesn't serve you anymore, how to let it go, and what you're going to do with all this extra space that you're going to be creating in your life going into 2025. So the first step is being able to actually recognize what doesn't serve you. And sometimes it's just not as obvious as we think it should be. So if you're feeling stuck and you just don't know where to start, here are a few questions that you can ask yourself. Does this person, habit, or situation bring me joy or peace? Am I growing or am I shrinking in this space? Do I feel obligated to stay even though it's draining me still? Does this go against what and who I'm trying to become? If you answered no to the first two and yes to the last two, then sis, we've got some reevaluating to do. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Maybe you have a friend. This is a friend that you've known for a very long time. We'll even say you're probably childhood friends, but every time y'all talk on the phone, it seems like they're either dragging you down, bringing you back to a space that you don't want to be in, or they're always dismissing any type of idea or dream that you may try and share with them. That's the kind of person, that's the kind of situation that you definitely need to be leaving behind in 2024. And I know sometimes it's hard to be able to recognize and admit it, but awareness is the first step. And let's not forget about the habits and the mindset that no longer serve us. So not getting sleep at night, horrible habit, let it go. Hitting all these hookahs every weekend, you need to stop, sis. Your lungs are important. I heard somebody say, you can't be your biggest supporter and your biggest hater all at the same time. And that is so true. You know, sometimes we find ourselves when we're out in front of other people, we big ourselves up like, you know, we're like, oh yeah, I have this going on. I have this. Oh yeah, I love myself, this and that. But in the back of our minds, we're thinking some of the most horrible things. We're so afraid. We don't truly believe in ourselves. Our confidence is at the bottom of our shoe. Like everything is just so bad internally. So going into 2025, I need for you to really believe the things that you're speaking. So all of the negative thoughts that you're having, I need for you to start journaling, getting that stuff out, start saying some more positive things, thinking them in your head, actually believing them. Be so delusional about it. Even if you don't really feel it, I need you to say it and I need you to keep saying it. Start doing some affirmations, pray about it, meditate, take quiet walks. That is a very important thing when it comes to shifting your mindset. I don't know if people understand how important having quiet time is, just to really sit in your head and thoughts and just kind of work through what you're feeling, what you're really thinking. Because sometimes you can become so cluttered because you're constantly talking, constantly dealing with other people all the time, that your thoughts, you don't have enough time to really process your own thoughts. So if you don't already do so, I need for you to find time in your day. It doesn't have to be every single day, but you do need to start finding time in your day to have quiet time. No phone, no TV. Maybe you can have some music. And if you do put on music, let it be instrumentals. Nothing that is going to get your gears turning to where, nothing that's going to be encouraging you to think a certain way. Only something that's going to relax you. Definitely going into 2025, practice having quiet time. All right, so now that we've identified what needs to go, let's talk about how we're going to make that happen. Because when we talk about things that you need to let go of, we're not necessarily talking about burning bridges or running away from your problems, but we're actually talking about creating space for what aligns with your higher self. So first, you need to acknowledge what it is you're trying to let go of. Correction. First, you need to acknowledge what it is you're going to let go of. And when you do that, you need to make sure you put it on something tangible. Write it down, type it in your notes on your phone. Whatever way works best for you, you need to get it out of your head and onto something. So you need to write down, whether it's a name, a habit, or even just a feeling that you're having. You need to put it on some paper or something just to make it real. Because at that point, you're basically saying, you're an issue for me. I see you. I acknowledge you as such, and I'm going to choose to release you. Number 2, my all-time favorite, is setting boundaries. You guys, you need to have boundaries set with everyone and everything in your life, even with yourself. So for your relationships, this may be just as simple as you needed to have an honest conversation, or just simply stepping back from something or someone. If you struggle with having honest conversations with people, especially those close to you, I need you to start practicing that today. That is going to be my challenge for you today. Start having honest conversations, because when you're putting stuff off and you're sweeping things under the rug, it does more harm to you and the other party in the long run, and you're just wasting time. Go ahead and have the tough conversations. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. You can't stop the inevitable from happening. So if it's going to go south, it's going to go south, whether you talk about it today, whether you make passive aggressive comments about it tomorrow, whether you just sweep it under the rug and it comes out in an argument that has nothing to do with the situation a year from now. Whenever it comes out, it's still going to have the same effect, and it may just be 10 times worse, because there's no telling how it's going to come out. When you make the conscious decision to have a conversation, you have more control of how the conversation is going to go, rather than it just going south immediately because it comes out because you're having an argument, or you're just about to implode because you keep holding all these feelings, harboring all these emotions, and then they just come out of nowhere. Trust me, I've been there. And to everyone that's been a victim of that, I'm sorry. And for your habits, It's all about replacing bad habits with good habits. So, like I said, if you're someone you like to watch TV a lot, maybe try and find something that's a little more active for you to get into. Be a little bit more mobile. If you're someone that likes to drink socially and you are a very social person, maybe you need to try and do some more social activities that don't that maybe you need to try and do more social activities that do not include alcohol. So maybe you can go to a park. Maybe you can go to a museum. Try going some places that do not serve alcohol so that you can kind of get control of that. Fun doesn't always have to include alcohol. There's other things that you can do. And for your mindset, maybe you can consider journaling, seeking out a therapist, maybe just a life coach, just someone or something that can help you shift your perspective of life. Because if you're someone that is bullheaded like me, once your mind is set on something, it's really hard to change it, especially if you have an experience that's tied to it. It's really hard for you to undo whatever logic that is that you've come to create for yourself if it's tied to a negative experience. So you definitely need to seek someone that can help you unpack those experiences so that you can move past that and start to change your mindset. And step number 3 is something I always say. You definitely need to give yourself grace. When you're trying to shift and change things, even though it's for the better, that doesn't make it any easier. It actually makes it very harder. It's really hard to let go of something you have attached yourself to. You have invested yourself in. You have built emotions around this thing, and you have to not only acknowledge that this is bad for you, this no longer serves you, but you actually have to let it go. Like, it's really hard. Like, I know it's like breaking up. When you're going through a breakup, regardless of if the relationship was a good one or a toxic one, it doesn't change the fact that you're dealing with the heartbreak. Heartbreak is heartbreak. It doesn't matter. And honestly, the toxic ones are the hardest ones to get past. So when you're dealing with these bad habits or these negative people that you're just trying to move past and let go, it's okay to definitely like give yourself some grace. Some days you may wake up and feel like, oh my God, I'm so happy I made this decision. You may wake up feeling so empowered, like, yeah, I did that for myself. And then some days you may just want to lay in the bed crying because you're feeling that hole that's left, that space, that empty space that is now there that you haven't had to feel in so long. And that's okay. Feel your feelings. You can be upset. You can be empowered and happy. You can be crying. You can be whatever it is you need to be. Allow yourself to be that so you can properly let it go and move forward. Step number 4. You need to make sure that you're filling those empty spaces that you now created intentionally, because once you let things and people go, you'll start to feel that there's space there, whether it be emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically, especially if it's a romantic partner. When you're used to being around someone, talking to someone, you have a routine. Oh, we usually talk during these hours. I usually sleep with this person. Oh my gosh, we usually have date nights on this night. All of those things, it's really hard. It's really hard, but you want to make sure that you're not just throwing things and people in there just to fill up that space. You do not want to start projecting your feelings on other people. Don't do that. So instead of throwing yourself on other bad habits or other people that may not serve you as well, just take some time to sit down and ask yourself, like, what do I need right now? What's going to bring me peace and joy in this moment? What's going to give me the fulfillment that I need so that this empty space doesn't feel so painful? Then go after that. And of course, doing all of the other steps is going to help you in this process, your journaling, your therapy, or if you're with a life coach, you making sure you give yourself grace, you setting new boundaries. All of these things is going to help you intentionally fill the new space that you now have. So here's what I want all of you to remember. Letting go of all of these things and people is not about losing anything. It's actually about gaining. You're gaining clarity. You're gaining freedom. You're gaining a new life. You can be and do whatever it is that you want. And it's gonna feel so freeing to finally cut the strings of the things that have been holding you back all this time. Whether it's been 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, 15, 20 years. Some people literally allow themselves to be tied to negative habits and negative people that have been holding them back for years, for decades. And the feeling that you're going to feel once you finally let that go is priceless. It is priceless. No amount of money can buy the happiness that you're going to feel once you actually see yourself moving through your healing process after you've decided and after you've actually let these things go. And listen, I have had and still on my own journey, so I absolutely relate. A lot of times when I'm talking, I'm also talking to myself. And so I know from personal experience that it can feel so scary to walk away from what's comfortable to you. But trust me when I tell you this, you deserve better than to be in spaces that do not honor you, nor do they serve you for being the amazing person that you're becoming today. And the fact that you're even listening to this episode today tells me that you're ready to grow. So before we close out today, I want to give you guys a quick action plan for you stepping into 2025 with intention. So first, I want you guys to take the rest of this week to think about and reflect on what and who no longer serves you. And do not forget to write it down. That is a key step. You need to be able to see these things on paper. Number 2, don't forget to set those boundaries, sis. We are not going into 2025 without boundaries. You need something to keep you grounded and for you to stand on, for you to back you up, to keep you accountable for you aspiring to be the person that you're trying to be. So we're setting boundaries before this year ends. The clock is ticking. I need you to go ahead and get to it. It doesn't have to be anything super big. It just needs to be something that honors your peace, something that reflects the things that you're trying to attain going into 2025. And the third thing I need you to do, I need you to go ahead and find something that you can commit to, a new habit or a new mindset going into the new year, something that aligns with the person that you're becoming. And remember, this isn't just something for you to do for the month of January or just for the first 6 months, try it out and stop. We are focusing on making lifetime changes. We are trying to be better for the future. And these are things that we want to commit to for the rest of our lives, because we're only making the best decisions. And if we do slip up and make a bad decision, well, we're going to fix it and we're going to make better ones. But all of the changes that we're going to be making, these are going to be lifelong changes until you grow again and you need to reevaluate and move up to something bigger and better. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It's definitely okay to start small. You can start small, but you got to start now. And if you find yourself needing a little accountability, you already know where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram at Jess_coaching10, or you can even join the Facebook group Healing in Progress. Let's grow together. And if you're looking for a consultation, please feel free to send me an email and we can schedule something as well. So ladies, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I know that letting go is never easy, but it's absolutely necessary, especially for growth. And as we're stepping into 2025, you just need to remember that you are worthy of so many things. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of joy. You are worthy of alignment. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of happiness. You're worthy of all the things. You're worthy of financial abundance. You're worthy of all the things that your heart desires. I need you to remember that. Hold on to it tight and don't let it go, because there's so many things in this world that tries to rip our dreams away from us, and so many things that we have to deal with on a daily basis just to try and maintain somewhat of a stable life. And if there's nothing else that you have to hold on to, you always have your dreams that you can hold on to. So like I said, hold on to them tight and don't let them go, and constantly remember what it is that you want. Remember what it is that you need, and remember what it is that you require to be the best person that you're meant to be, because God did not put you here for any reason. We are here to build, create memories, live life, but we're also here for our own purpose. And you need to find that purpose. The only way you're going to find that purpose is by doing these things, so that you can be in alignment and understand what it is you're meant to do, and you can attract all of the people that are going to help you be that person and live in that purpose. And if this episode resonated with you in any kind of way, please make sure you share it with someone who might need a little bit of encouragement in letting go. And as always, please make sure you follow, subscribe, and connect with me on social media. Together, we're creating lives that you can be proud of, one step at a time. And until next time, I'm just saying, leave the package behind, because it's time for us to take flight.